Good day, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. The Federal High Court in Abuja on Friday heard the suit on threat to life filed by former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki against the Nigerian government. The court ordered the Attorney General of the Federation to appear before it on Monday to explain why the order of the court granting Dasuki permission to travel is being flouted. In this suit, Dasuki, who has been placed under house arrest in the last 1 week by operatives of the DSS, is seeking enforcement of his fundamental human rights to dignity and security of his life. Counsel to Colonel Dasuki, Joseph Daudu, says that his client's right to freedom is being infringed upon. Shuaibu Labaran, representing the federal government, says Dasuki refused to honor an invitation sent to him on November 4th to appear before the Department of State Services DSS. The presiding judge, Justice Ademola Adeniyi, has however replied that the order of the court granting Dasuki permission to travel must be obeyed. Justice Adeniyi has advised the federal government to wait for Dasuki to return from his medical journey before going into action. Dasuki is asking the court for mandatory order compelling the Nigerian government and its agents, especially the operatives of the DSS, to vacate his house in Abuja with immediate effect. Niger military officials say about 25 people have been killed in a Boko Haram attack on a village in southern Niger and subsequent clashes between the militants and the army. The officers said the Boko Haram fighters also killed 5 civilians in their initial attack on the village located in the West African nation's Boso district. However, Niger soldiers drove back the militants, killing around 20 of them. Boko Haram has ramped up cross-border attacks into Niger, Chad and Cameroon from its strongholds in northeastern Niger in recent months. Almost a third of Diffa's nearly 600,000 inhabitants have been displaced by the violence. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has said it did not obtain the statement of former Governor Jolly Nyame of Taraba State under duress. The commission stated this at the resumed trial of Nyame on alleged stealing of 1.64 billion naira before an Abuja High Court presided over by Adebukola Banjoko. A statement issued by EFCC spokesperson Wilson Udwujaren disclosed this. According to the statement, Nyame's statement was made voluntarily when he was being cross-examined by the defense counsel Sikiru Adewoye. The statement said that the EFCC had closed its case in the trial and the court adjourned till November 18th for Nyame's lawyers to open their defense. Nyame, according to the statement, is facing a 41-count charge bordering on criminal misappropriation of state funds. Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha has cut down the number of ministries in the state from 22 to 13. Governor Okorocha disclosed this after a meeting with all the permanent secretaries at the government house in Owerri, the Imo State capital. Speaking through the state's head of service, Kalisu Zekenze, he said that the new development in the state civil service was part of plans to restructure the civil service and make it more efficient and effective. He also noted that due to the dwindling revenue allocation, the state government needs to cut down on cost of governance and look inwards in order to increase the internally generated revenue of the state. Let's take a short commercial break now. When we come back, we'll look at more news stories. Please don't go away.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, but this way you talk is too much. Give me 5,000 man that you. It's too much. So you get it like, Messi move along the street. Yeah, Messi like that, I'm going girl. You know, my own people. Actually, yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it, and I'm one of those very few.
I'm forever taking it personal. I will say 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? Brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We did the way you did.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, we will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. You're watching TV360 News now. To business stories. Brent crude edged up from a sharp drop on Friday but was on track for the biggest weekly loss in more than 2 months as swelling stocks weighed on the market. The International Energy Agency said there was a record 3 billion barrels in tanks worldwide. Brent crude was trading 70 cents higher at $44.76 per barrel, while U.S. crude was 15 cents higher at $41.90 a barrel. Crude markets have been dogged by oversupply. OPEC will meet on December 4th to discuss the cartel strategy after opting to maintain its output steady in the face of lower prices. U.S. forces have carried out an airstrike targeting the Islamic State group militant Jihadi John with a high degree of certainty he was hit. Mohammed Mwazi, the Kuwait-born British militant, appeared in videos of the beheadings of Western hostages. He first appeared in a video in August last year when footage was posted online showing the murder of U.S. journalist James Foley. It is believed that there was at least one person in the vehicle targeted in the attack near Raqqa in Syria. The UK government said it was working hand in gloves with the Americans to hunt down those murdering hostages. A US official said Mwazi had been tracked carefully over a period of time. Another senior military source said there was high degree of certainty he had been killed, while another source said it was a great hit. Mwazi is believed to have traveled to Syria in 2013 and later joined Islamic State's militants. Leaders of the European Union have formally launched an emergency trust fund for Africa with an initial $2 billion to combat the poverty and conflicts driving migration to Europe. This comes as Sweden announced the introduction of temporary border checks to control the flow of migrants into the country. It said it took the step because a surge in new arrivals had resulted in a threat to public order. The fund, unveiled at the summit with African leaders in Malta, is expected to offer extensive aid for the continent in exchange for help with migrant crisis. The new money, which adds to some 20 billion euros annually donated to Africa by the EU and its 28 states, will finance projects ranging from training and small business grants and combating food shortages to schemes directly aimed at cutting immigration and tackling radicalization and other violences. Some over 150,000 people from African countries like Eritrea, Nigeria and Somalia have crossed the Mediterranean from Africa this year alone. To sports stories now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have arrived in Swaziland ahead of their World Cup qualifier match against Swaziland. Super Eagles coach Sunday Olise last month confirmed a list of 24 players for the game. The first leg of the World Cup qualifier against Swaziland will be played in Shilangu, Swaziland today, Friday, November 13th by 6 p.m. Nigerian time. The second leg of the qualifier will be played in Nigeria 4 days later. Among those expected to partake in the game are Obafemi Martins, John Mikelobi, Kelechi Iheanacho, Carly Keme, Ahmed Musa, and Ogenyi Onazi. FIFA President Sepp Blatter has been discharged from the hospital where he was admitted on Wednesday after suffering a small emotional breakdown. His aide Walter Gag said the Swiss hope to host the Ballon d'Or award ceremony in Zurich on 11 January after his suspension expires. The Swiss is currently serving a 90-day provisional ban which could be extended by 45 days following investigations being conducted on him by the Ethics Committee over a £1.3 million payment made to Platini in 2011. He's also facing criminal charges as Switzerland's Attorney General confirmed opening criminal proceedings against him. We've come to the end of news now. We thank you very much for joining us. I am Thelma Okoro.